Hello, hello, and welcome to this channel, Highly Sensitive Wisdom. My name is Susanna, and today's video is a continuation from last video. The last video is called The Power of Emotions. I will drop the link in the description below if you haven't watched it yet or if you want to rewatch it. So today we're going to talk more about emotions and how to deal with emotions and also some discussion about how we are living inside the matrix and how or Western contemporary societies that keep us in a lockdown inside our minds and how that generates emotions inside us that get trapped and how that can be a vicious circle if we don't know how to deal with our emotions. So if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and also leave your aha moment in the comment section so that we can inspire and uplift each other. And thank you in advance for your participation. So today I have brought another book. It is The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And there's a subtitle, How to Release Your Trapped Emotions for Abundant Health, Love, and Happiness. So as you may know, if you have watched previous videos, I am certified in the Emotion Code, the Body Code, and the Belief Code. So it was Dr. Bradley Nelson who created the Emotion Code and the Body Code, and he's a co-creator of the Belief Code. They were developing the Belief Code. So he is the authority when it comes to energy work, when it comes to energy, the Emotion Code and the Body Code and the Belief Code. So he has published this book called The Emotion Code. I will I will read I'll quote a part specifically where he talks about emotions, what emotions are, and what happens when they get trapped in the body, and then from there I will continue doing an analysis on my own, both from my own observations and life experiences, and work with clients as a certified practitioner. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Bradley Nelson, he used to be a chiropractor. So he worked, with clients for many years. He developed these methods, as I said, the emotion code, the body code, and then one of his students developed what was called at the time three-dimensional therapy, and from that was evolved the belief code. You will see this is very spot on, very straightforward, very clear what emotions are about and what they do, with us. And I want to mention also that the most important life skills are not taught in school or at universities. The most important life skills like emotional intelligence, like nutrition, like how to make good money, all those things that we need, in everyday lives. Well, yeah, some of those are taught at university, but I mean the basic education we have, from school, we are taught so many things about the outside world, the external world, the material world, things that many things that we studied in school we will never use in our adult lives. So those things that we really need, like mastering your emotional intelligence and nutrition and how to make good money, those kind of things, those we have to either, if we were fortunate enough to have parents who taught us this, or we have to figure it out as we go, or learn with people who have figured it out. So emotional intelligence is key, is it's essential for your success, for both professional success, in your private, personal relationships, for your well-being, for your inner peace, for your sense of fulfillment in life. It's essential for so many things. And if you want, you can sign up for a free guide that I created, and it's on my website, Mastering Emotional Intelligence for highly sensitive people. I will drop the link in the description below if you want to sign up for that. That can also help you with your emotional intelligence. And I will get started with quoting from this book, The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And so this is the updated, it's not the first edition, this is the second edition I will read from. So, so it's from chapter 1 called Trapped Emotions, the Invisible Epidemic. So I quote, where would you be without your emotions? If the sum total of all your experiences makes up the tapestry of your life, it is the emotions you have experienced that give that tapestry its color. Try to imagine for a moment a world where no emotions would occur or could occur. No joy would be possible, no feelings of happiness, bliss, charity, or kindness. No love would be felt, no positive emotions of any kind. On this imaginary emotionless planet, there would be no negative emotions either. No sorrow, no anger, no feelings of depression, and no grief. To live on such a planet would be to merely exist. With no ability to feel emotions, life would be reduced to grey, mechanical ritual from cradle to grave. Be grateful that you can feel emotions. But are there emotions you experienced that you would rather not have felt? If you're like most people, your life has had its darker times. You have probably experienced in moments of anxiety as well as times of grief, anger, frustration, and fear. You may have experienced periods of sorrow as well as depression, low self esteem, hopelessness, or any of a wide variety of negative emotions. What you may not realize is that some of the negative emotions you've experienced, even though you may have felt them long ago, may be creating problems for you now. Yes, some of your old experiences are still affecting you in subtle yet very damaging ways. The emotion code is about finding these old emotions and releasing them forever. Much of our suffering is due to negative emotional energies that have become trapped within us. The emotion code is a simple and powerful method of finding and releasing these trapped emotions. Many people have found that when they free themselves of their trapped emotions, they are able to live healthier and happier lives. A single trapped emotion can create both physical and emotional problems. And then there are some real life experiences or examples. I will skip those. Um, and I will move forward to another section, still in the same chapter of the book, The Emotion Code. What are emotions? As you live through the days and years of your life, you are continually experiencing emotions of one sort or another. These feelings you have all serve a purpose. They provide motivation, direction, and communication from your body, your higher self, and the divine. Negative emotions also can be useful, even if they are at times uncomfortable or painful. All of us experience negative emotional extremes at times. It seems to be part of what it means to be human. Our emotions don't come out of nowhere. They are generated by our bodies based on two criteria: what we are experiencing in the moment, and information stored in our bodies and minds from past experiences. So whether we are feeling happiness or shame, that emotion comes from deep within and for a reason. What are emotions made of? We will discuss this in more depth later in the book, but simply put, emotions are vibrations of pure energy. And every emotion has its own unique vibrational frequency. Everything in the universe is made of energy, and emotions are no exception. Quantum physics has proven that energies affect other energies. So it follows that we are affected by the energy of our emotions simply because our bodies are also made of energy. This simple fact is the reason our emotions can affect us so profoundly on a mental, emotional, and physical level. The emotional experience in a nutshell. Three things happen when we experience an emotion. First, our body generates the emotional vibration. Second, we begin to feel the emotion and any thoughts or physical sensations that come along with it. Third, we choose to let the emotion go and we move on after a few seconds to several minutes. This last step is called processing, and the word processing is emphasized. And once it is completed, we have successfully moved on from the emotional experience and it shouldn't cause us any problems. However, if either the second or third step is interrupted, the emotional experience is incomplete and the energy of the emotion is likely to become trapped in the body. We do not yet completely understand all the reasons emotions are not processed completely. It appears that the more overwhelming or extreme an emotion is, the more likely it will become trapped. There could be other reasons, such as weakness in the body or many old trapped emotions of a similar vibration, but we will discuss those in more depth later on. What is a trapped emotion? As much as we would like to forget some of the emotionally difficult times we've been through, the influence of these events may stay with us in the form of trapped emotions. Sometimes we can consciously recall these challenging events, and sometimes we cannot. Whether you remember a painful event or not doesn't actually matter, because your subconscious mind does remember. And we can access that information by using the emotion code. Many people who have been through extreme trauma have blocked out years of their lives and remember almost nothing. But the emotion code allows us to bypass the conscious mind completely. Instead, we access vital information about trapped emotions from the subconscious mind. Each time you trap an emotion, you get stuck in the middle of whatever traumatic event you were experiencing. So instead of moving beyond your anger moment or a temporary bout with grief or depression, retain this negative emotional energy within your body, potentially causing significant physical and emotional stress. Most people are amazed to find that their emotional baggage is more literal than they had imagined. Trapped emotions actually consist of well-defined energies that have a shape and form. Although they are not visible, they are very real. End of quote. Um, So yeah, this gives some more depth, doesn't it, about emotions. And if you want to know what it's like to work, to do energy work with a practitioner, there is a recent video that I recorded a video interview with one of my clients, my very dear and very committed client, Yanis. He has been working with me for over 2 years now, on and off. And that video is called Get Insider Information About What is, no, Get insider information on what it's like to do energy work. And I'll drop the link of that video in the description below if you haven't watched it yet. And he also mentioned the emotion code that he wanted to start, getting acquainted with the emotion code, try that out, and then he stayed for the belief code, which is the case for most of my clients. They come for the emotion code, they get great results with that, and then they want to move forward, and then they move on to belief code and subconscious reprogramming. And I also did record a video about subconscious reprogramming. It's called Discover Subconscious Reprogramming, and I will drop the link of that video in the description below so you can watch it or rewatch it to refresh your memory. So yeah, emotions. We need to we need to learn to handle our emotions. So what happens with emotions, and yeah, I have also recorded other videos where I shared another case from a client who had a severe hip pain that turned out to be entirely emotional from a traumatic event that we release in only a few sessions with the emotion code. I believe it was like 4 sessions, so 2 hours of actual treatment for her to get rid of hip pain that she had been carrying for 3 years, and that was just causing so much pain and so much suffering for her. I'll also drop the link of that video in the description below if you want to watch more about that. So the emotion can do a lot for you. And when we start understanding that everything is energy, life gets so much easier. It's so much easier to see the connections and to start, going to the root cause of things. And I also did record a video about, energy called Everything is Energy, Frequencies Explained. I will also drop the link to that video in the description if you haven't watched it or if you want to re-watch it. That will also give you more insight into how everything is interconnected energetically speaking, and how emotional energies, they vibrate different levels, different frequencies, and each frequency corresponds to a level of consciousness. So yeah, it is all interconnected. It all has to do with our consciousness, and our physical bodies. They are they are the temple of our soul, and they are also, they manifest physically what's going on inside us, both spiritually and emotionally and mentally. So the physical body, it truly is a messenger showing us with symptoms, what's going on a mental level, on an emotional level, and on a spiritual level. It is the physical body that will show us what is happening inside of us. And I also recorded a video exactly about symptoms. It's called Your Physical Symptoms Could in Reality Be Spiritual Symptoms. I will also drop that link in the description below if you haven't watched it or if you want to rewatch it to refresh your memory. So our physical body always communicates with us, right? And we have been conditioned to dismiss the physical body or saying, oh, that's not really important. What matters is the mind, because we're so locked inside our minds. And that has huge repercussions when it comes to our emotions, because even if in some cultures or some contexts, we are not allowed, so to speak, to express our emotions. We still feel them. Our bodies still feel things in whatever environment or whatever context we are immersed into, because we are always interacting with other people. We always have things to do. We often have maybe deadlines we have to meet, or we are just stressed out for whatever reason, and all of those experiences are experienced by our bodies. So our bodies will communicate with us, alerting us when something is the matter and we have to do something about it, through symptoms. And many symptoms are emotional, emotionally caused, in fact, before they manifest as physical symptoms in our physical body. So we really need to take very seriously what our body is telling us, and not just suppress the symptoms with some pill or something, because what happens, the underlying causes are still operating and they are still unaddressed. And as long as the underlying causes are not being addressed, the imbalanced state of our body will continue, and that will keep producing new symptoms or new problems, or worse symptoms. If we don't listen first time around, our subconscious will use our physical body as a messenger to produce even more severe symptoms, so that we have to listen, we have to stop, and we have to listen, and we have to pay attention, we have to take it seriously, right? So, as I mentioned, I was speaking about this in recent videos. The most recent was The Power of Emotions. I have been quoting from a very timely book, Pure Human by Rick Braden, that was published in 2025, where he makes a call to action for us to, inform ourselves both about the transhumanist agenda, and get to know ourselves well enough so that we will choose to stay pure and not merge ourselves with technology. So there is this agenda that has been around for decades, but it's being intensified right now, because with technology, with AI, things are technology is reinforcing itself. So many things are being delegated to AI, and then it becomes a snowball effect, right? So that technology reinforces itself, and just accelerates it further. So with this agenda that sees emotions as a flaw, as I quoted from this book, Pure Human by Rick Braden, in last video, The Power of Emotions. And you can watch that video, or you can buy the book and read it for yourself. And I do recommend you read it, the entire book. So then there's this agenda that sees emotions as a flaw, and all kinds of narratives and incentives in society for us not to express emotions, so that we become more like robots. And that is by design. That is part of the agenda, and that is there's a purpose behind that. So that is not something innocent. That is by design. And then we have, we are living in the matrix. And I also recorded a video about that, decoding the matrix in real life. I'll also drop the link to that video in the description below, so you can watch it or rewatch it, where I shared experiences from, where I shared conscious, systematic observations from my 7 years of first-hand experience of living in France, working in Paris, and observing the behaviors and the attitudes and the mentality there, seeing how, harsh living conditions were causing people to be stuck in their minds, in survival mode, and being very passive aggressive, because they are not allowed to express their emotions. So we are living in a matrix. We're living inside our minds. Many people don't even know what's going on in their body, and we are being told that our body is not something important, something just not important, just dismiss that. And then there is this agenda that is pushing us to becoming more like robots and becoming more emotionless beings. And nevertheless, we need to feel our emotions. Our physical bodies are constantly producing new emotions, and we need to feel them, and we need to live them, and we need to share also our emotions. And if we don't feel our emotions, we don't live them, we don't experience our emotions, then what happens is that they become trapped in our physical body. And if they are disempowering emotions, and by that I mean what we typically call negative emotions, the low vibrating emotions, the emotions that are lower than 200 on the scale of consciousness by Dr. David R. Hawking, the author of the book, wonderful, very enlightening book, Power versus Force, that I quoted from in that video, Everything's Energy, Frequencies Explained. So the low vibrating frequencies or emotional energies, they get trapped in our body because we're not we're not living them fully, we're not processing them, we are not experiencing them. And then if we live in a culture or in a context, could be in the workplace, for instance, we are not allowed to express our emotions, then there's no way out for that energy. And energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transformed. So that energy has to go somewhere. And if we cannot find a way out through our bodies, they remain stuck in our bodies as trapped emotions. And then if the trapped emotions are there long enough, they will create interference with the natural circulation of energies and what is going on in our physical body. So if the trapped emotions stay there long enough in our physical body, that will start distorting the functioning of our organs, and they will start creating all kinds of troubles and more symptoms. Our subconscious will create more symptoms to warn us, to alert us, to say, hey, something's going on, we need your attention here, please, please, please give us pay attention to us, we need your help here. And then things can just get worse and worse from there. So we truly need to deal with our emotions and honor them and feel them and experiencing them. And obviously there are situations where it's not appropriate to have our emotional experiences, often in the workplace, yes, because we have to be professional at all times, and we have to have polished facade and social mask so that others will not use our emotions against us, or so that others will not judge us for having weaknesses. Because yes, having emotions, oftentimes that's interpreted as having weaknesses, although that's perfectly normal to have emotions. But you need to create space in your life where you actually can feel your emotions, and actually you can process them, and you can have time with yourself. And nature is it's a great thing, spend time in nature, to process your emotions. That's a good thing. Or channel them somehow. Many people channel their emotions through art, through music or poetry or writing, or some kind of expression, so that they will get out, and or sports, also, if you have a lot of angry energies, that can be a great way, do workouts. I had a client, for instance, who said that when she was going to do workout, in the gym, she would listen to what she called angry music, because that gave her an extra input of energy, so she would have the physical strength to be really active in the gym. So that can also be like a push to take action. So emotions are an integral part of our experience as humans. And and also what I wanted to mention, obviously, as an energy worker, I'm certified, as I said, in the emotion code, the body code, and the belief code. And I'm also a psychologist, and I can also help you, reframing past experiences that you have had, and help you, see things in a new light, or interpret things differently, so that you get unstuck from whatever area in your life you're stuck in currently, so that you can move on and move beyond whatever happened to you. So when it comes to emotions, then what we can do with the emotion code, for instance, is that when we work on a specific topic that you bring, and whatever topic it is you want to work on, either something you want to get rid of, such as a problem, a symptom, or some pain, or something like that, or something you want to work towards, a project, a dream, a vision you have, and you want to remove any obstacles, any barriers that are inside you, that may be hindering you from achieving that goal, achieving that, materializing that vision that you have, right? So what happens is that when we release the trapped emotions that we have identified with the emotion code, that are indeed blocking you from achieving or creating that which you want to create, you will feel much lighter. you'll feel more joyful. And what we are doing, in fact, is that we are removing those interferences, the energetic interferences that are inside you, vibrating at low frequencies and hindering you from moving forward. So what we do is that we release those, and we free up space inside you, so to speak. And you have to remember that energies are information. Everything is energy, and energy is information. So everything is also information, both information that is stored inside our body, information stored in our subconscious mind, and also information that we are giving out to the universe. And then the universe acts as a mirror, mirroring back what is happening inside you. The very known saying, as within, so without. So what is going on inside you will also be mirrored back to you from things in your material physical world, because the universe acts as a mirror. And my understanding is that that is also by design, that is the divine design, so that we can get to know ourselves better and deeper, and truly get to know ourselves, and also to get to know our truest self, not the trauma personality that we had to develop to survive in a harsh environment, not the fake personality, the socially acceptable personality that we need to pretend we are someone we are not, just to be accepted by our peers or our supervisors or boss or whomever it is we want to please, and not the personality that maybe we believe we have been telling ourselves that we have, because of the interpretation we've made by from past events or past things we have been through, so you get to know your true self when all of those interferences, all of those energetic interferences are removed. So there are so many benefits from working with the belief code and, well, energy work in general. But yeah, right now we're talking about the emotion code, right? So it's so beneficial to work on the level of your emotions, because oftentimes what happens is that when we have a lot of trapped emotions, so in this case, unprocessed, disempowering energies, low vibrating frequencies that are stuck in our physical body, then what happens is that it also clouds your ability to see clearly what is going on. So it's not only when we think, that emotions are, difficult to handle, or they are bad in some way. That is not just because some people are reactive. Well, many people are reactive. The more people have been through, trauma or difficult circumstances or difficult things, and they have not done their inner work, or they have not received the help they needed, the more reactive and the more judgmental they will be, such as the French, which I learned the hard way living in France. When we clear up in your energy system, you will also be less reactive. You will see clearly how things really work, and you will see clearly the interconnections of things, and it will be so much easier also to feel at peace, simply because, as I said, these low vibrating frequencies, they create interference in your energy system. And since we live in a world that is actively working on keeping us in low vibrating frequencies, we really have to work actively and consciously to raise our vibration, our frequency, to elevate our consciousness, so that we will not be stuck in those low vibrating states, because they are there constantly to remind us of scarcity, to remind us of lack, to make us live in a state of fear, in a state of in a diminished state. We're constantly being bombarded with sensorial stimulation and what is called information, which is often not information at all. Sometimes it's misinformation or disinformation or partial truths that are presented as the truth, all kinds of things with very low frequency. And much of that content has an emotional charge. For instance, when you watch the news on mainstream television, that's only ever bad news. Only ever things about wars, conflict, violence, hardships, economic hardships, or masses being unemployed, or all kinds of political drama. all kinds of, very low frequency, low vibrating content with a very strong emotional component or an emotional charge. So we are constantly being dragged down by all kinds of stimulation from news, from mainstream music. Also, many, much of the pop music also has a low frequency because, if you listen to the lyrics, I mean, a lot of things that are quite aggressive or far away from the truth, that relates the definition of low vibrating. It's very far away from the truth. It's very manipulative or lying content. And yeah, often causing fear or anger or bitterness or any of those. So there are so many things in our Western contemporary societies when we are living in the matrix that are bombarding us on a mental level with emotional charge or an emotional component. And since we are not taught how to deal with our emotions, and you are even there are these narratives, as I said, that are trying to shape our perception for us to think that having emotions at all is a flaw that we shouldn't have. And yeah, as both Craig Braden and Dr. Bradley Nelson have mentioned in their books that I have been quoting, Pure Human and the Emotion Code books. Both of them agree that living on an emotionless planet, that would be horrible. As Dr. Bradley Nelson said here, it would be merely to exist, and it would not be to live. It would be just exist. But for us to live, we have to have emotions. So yeah, emotions are super important to the human experience. And yeah, there's so many things. There's so many things I would like to say about emotions, other than making us feel alive, other than being channeled into art, music, poetry, sculpture, other than being a very strong component, as I mentioned in the last video, the power of emotions, being a very strong component to generating new subconscious programs that will run on autopilot in your subconscious mind, other than allowing us to have deep connection and genuine connection with other human beings, being able to feel loved and give love to others, being able to have genuine friendships, genuine connections, genuine, communication with other people, and yeah, giving colors to our life, giving more fulfillment to our lives. I mean, our emotions are super, super important. And yeah, we just need to work with them so that our emotions help us to create the life we want to create for ourselves. So that our emotions can be a motivation or a driving force, or give fuel to us in our pursuit of whatever it is that we are pursuing, happiness, success, fulfillment, better understanding of reality, deeper awareness of who you are. I mean, emotions are key to all of those things. And yeah, truly, without emotions we wouldn't be human. That's part of. And yeah, animals feel emotions too. So it's not only humans who feel emotions. I just want to make that clear also. But yeah, if we didn't have emotions, we wouldn't be human. So our emotions, we have to cherish them, learn to master them, learn to work with them as a tool in our life journey on Earth. And yeah, the intensity of the emotions also can, can give us fuel. For instance, when you work with the law of attraction, you want to manifest whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. You use, the intensity of emotions, in this case, empowering emotions that you choose to focus on. That will manifest faster in your physical material reality because of the intensity of the emotion. So you can also learn to use your emotions as a manifestation tool, as a help in your process of creating and co-creating your own reality. And yeah, emotions are key to so many processes and so many things in this lifetime. So yeah, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I will drop my link, the scheduling page in the description below if you want to do emotion code, emotion code, body code, belief code. But as I said, most of my clients start with emotion code, and that is indeed a very good place to start. And that also will, help you see how you react to energy work. If you're new to energy work, it's like a muscle. When you start training your muscles physically, you will not start with the strongest, modality first, or the strongest weights first. You will build it up over time, right? And allow your muscles to adapt to the stimulation that you are giving to your muscles. The same thing with energy work. Yeah, I do recommend you start with emotion code before you go through the belief code, because belief code is very, very powerful, and emotion code is also very powerful, but it's like taking smaller steps to get started, and yeah, you will feel effects very soon after starting this energy work together with me. And yeah, it would be an honor working with you. I would be more than happy to help you. So please reach out if you need help. I'm here to help you. And yeah, I will start wrapping up the video now, so it will not be too long. So please let me know in the comment section what resonated with you, what else you want to learn about emotions in future videos, or also about energy work more globally, not only emotional energies. And yeah, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye for now.